What's up, guys, and welcome to the podcast, Just the Tip. We are coming back from a little bit of a hiatus, a little bit of a break. I did have, we said it on the last podcast, we did have a few weeks back. I did have my daughter join our family, so I've been extremely busy, but we are getting back to some normalcy. So to kick it off, I'm Josh.
And I am King Benjamin Cage. And I'm also wondering if this mic is actually working, because did we do a sound check?
Remember? Yeah, you're coming through clear.
All right, we're clear.
Yeah, I see it.
Let's fucking go.
Levels look good. All right, guys, so if this is your first time joining us, this is a podcast where we cover anything from video games to politics to music to happenings. It's kind of got a lot of flavor to it. So
to dogs barking in the background.
Yeah, that's just ambient sound. But guys, if this is your first time joining us, thank you. Make sure you give us that subscribe, that like, that follow. That way we can continue to give you guys some more content. But this is a podcast where we just openly talk about our thoughts and feelings on whatever the subject we have. And we kind of just do what we want with this.
We freestyle.
Yeah.
Fucking sure.
Sure do. But guys, today's topics are going to be the halftime show for the Super Bowl. The recent CEO murder. We've got some stuff that we want to show you on X. The UFOs and drones that were spotted over Jersey and now into Oregon. And we're going to finish up with a little bit of... What's it called now? It's no longer Kavladesh. I don't remember. We'll show you.
Yeah.
Or Kaladesh. Yeah.
Kaladesh, yeah.
Yep, it's something else now. So Magic the Gathering, they actually renamed a set. So we're going to cover all that, and we're going to jump right into it. So we're going to share our screen. The first thing that we've got coming up here, and mic levels are still good. So the first thing we have coming up here is the halftime show. So Jay-Z was going to be, and still is, the halftime performer, but amidst this whole diddler diddy thing, he has been accused of a rape allegation with a 13-year-old girl alongside of Sean Combs.
Yeah. So,
guys, I'm very familiar with Jay-Z, his music. I'm not necessarily a fan, but I did not know he looked like this currently.
That's Whoopi Goldberg, bro. I don't even think that's Jay-Z.
Hey, she's on here later, too.
Oh, wait.
All right.
So Jay-Z Goldberg.
Yeah, that's right. We're going to pull this up and just play the video.
Jay-Z files a motion to reveal his rape accuser's identity after denying her sexual assault allegation. One day after the rapper, whose real name is Sean Carter, was accused in a civil suit of raping a 13-year-old girl alongside Sean Diddy Combs in 2000, Carter files a motion in New York City December 9th, requesting that the accuser reveal her name instead of filing anonymously as Jane Doe. In the motion obtained by E! News, Carter's lawyer, Alex Spiro, writes, "Fair is fair. It is not consistent with justice, fairness, or the rules governing federal proceedings for the plaintiff and her counsel to smear Jay-Z's good name." The document also notes that the 55-year-old has built an impeccable reputation, adding that he has never been accused of sexual misconduct or engaged in sexual misconduct. Following the refiling of the civil suit by Jane Doe, in which she listed Carter as the previously unnamed individual she claimed raped her along with Combs at a house party after the 2000 MTV Video Music Awards in New York, the rapper released a statement emphatically denying the claims. He said in a December 8th statement to E! News, "These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever should commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree? These alleged victims would deserve real justice if that were the case." Carter also took aim at lawyer Tony Busby, who filed the allegations and has filed a number of similar lawsuits against Combs, accusing Busby of sending him a demand letter prior to litigation, saying that Busby had contacted Carter's own lawyer to reach a settlement. However, Busby denied the claim in a statement to E! News, saying he only sought confidential mediation, not money. The Grammy winner also added that because of the suit, he and wife Beyoncé would be forced to have a difficult conversation with their 3 children, telling E! News, "My only heartbreak is for my family. My wife and I will have to sit our children down, one of whom is at the age where her friends will surely see the press and ask questions about the nature of these claims and explain the cruelty and greed of people." Prior to Carter's December 9th motion, Busby said in his statement to E! News, "As far as the allegations in the complaint filed, we will let the filing speak for itself and will litigate the facts in court, not in the media." For now, the lawyer is continuing to bring about several sexual abuse civil suits against Combs, who is currently in jail awaiting trial on federal sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy charges, for which he has pleaded not guilty. He also denied wrongdoing in the sexual abuse cases filed against him. Following news of the lawsuit against Jay-Z, fans noticed that Beyoncé's mother Tina Knowles' Instagram account appeared to like a post on the social media platform from ABC7 Chicago detailing the filing. As of December 9th, however, Knowles' account appears to have unliked the post. Beyoncé's mother later stated on December 9th that her account was recently compromised. She writes in a post shared on IG, "I was hacked. As you all know, I do not play about my family. So if you see something uncharacteristic of me, just know that it is not me."
Good way to get out of stuff.
Oh yeah, I was hacked.
That was a good way.
What's your take?
So, number one,
Nick and Vanessa
with
Lachey.
power comes a lot of double-edged swords, and people usually go down that road. But here's my thing. This is actually what I was thinking of when I just saw that it was filed anonymously, and I also saw that it was done as a civil instead of criminal case. The first thing I thought is, how is that case even handled? What's the point of bringing that up if there's no, if it's a victimless crime, meaning you didn't say who? How does that work out? If this person won't come forward, won't actually do anything except for anonymous, I don't know how that is anything other than just, even if it's true, then just a smear campaign. Even if it's true, because what else are you going to do if you're not?
It could definitely come across as that. I also think on the other side of that if you're just some chick and you're name dropping this dude who's like probably got people that can snuff
Very
you
true.
out, you may want to remain
Anonymous, yeah.
Like he's got his fuck you money. He's got fuck you money that has fuck you money. So
Right.
Like easily, like you drop a name, like there ain't gonna be no place safe for you.
Done.
Yeah. So, I'm really interested to know how this House of Cards goes with like who's on these tapes and all this stuff. Is he one of them?
Because wasn't it upwards of 3,000 tapes or
Right.
something they said?
And then there was another guy. There's another guy that came forward recently. We don't have that up, but he's claiming to be Jay-Z's son, and his mother was impregnated at like 13 or 15 or something like that. It's one of those two ages. I'm not sure, but all this stuff's coming out now, which is really weird. But if you're the NFL, and this guy, I mean, guilty or innocent until proven guilty, but that's quite a stigma to have performing at your.
How come that's only done in certain applications, though, too? Because there's so many times, and I do agree that people should be able to have their time in court and what have you,
Right.
because there are a lot of false allegations and claims, but it's just crazy.
In today's cancel culture, like
Yeah, because you
something
watch.
was going to get canceled, like, hey man, we're going to put you until next year until this shit clears up or something.
Yeah.
Kind of like save face with them. But like, yeah, like what you have this guy perform.
Look
and
at
then all this shit comes
Disney
to be
with
true.
Gina.
With who?
With Gina from she was on Mandalorian.
Yeah.
How they just jump gun and just
Yeah,
instantly.
like, 'cause she didn't even say anything bad. She just said, "Hey, be careful. These are dangerous times."
Yep.
And this is how things kind of like, progressed into communism. That's all she said. But her counterpart got to sit there and call half the audience Nazis and stuff.
Right.
But, which I won't partake in watching any of his bullshit ever again, because I don't care what he's going to be in the Fantastic Four.
And that's the proper way that you actually vote, is you just stop giving people your time and attention and money. So if you don't agree with something, he just gave you the perfect way to do it. But most people just continue and accept.
Speaking of which, back to Jay-Z, I never thought he was a good rapper. I just thought he was some dude that just talked on the mic. There are some songs of his that I thought were pretty decent, but that was only because the beat.
Or who he was
pretty
featured
solid.
with.
Sometimes. But I never really was a big Jay-Z guy. But do you have this guy on your halftime show and then all this shit unfolds and it's true?
Yeah, right.
You look like you're going to have a lot of egg on your face.
Yep.
That's not going to be good.
Yep.
Not going to be good.
I do. Like I said, it was a double-edged sword, though, too, because what if he's not, and then...
Right. That's why you say, hey, man, get this shit cleared up in another year. We'll
yes,
you know,
exactly.
It. Like, but you got to understand where we're coming from as a business. We put you on there, and then this is actually true. We're fucked.
Yeah. What does that mean for us? Exactly. Next topic, we're going to share our screen again. So, which one of these did you want to grab? They don't have it up right now.
Any one of them, really.
Here's what he meant. Let's pull this up and see what Forbes has to say. So let's share our screen with you real quick.
Forbes.
So I don't know. So Luigi, I think it's Mangione, right? Is how it would actually be said.
Sounds very mafioso.
It does. It does. We got, that's way too long for us to watch, but former FBI agent and professor at New York's John Jay College of Criminal Justice reacted to the multiple items found on Luigi, the suspect charged in the fatal shooting of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. So this is covering what's all up in the news right now, and there's a few different things with this. This also just continues to show how weird society is, because this guy's being deified too. Just like, do you remember that one guy that was a mulatto individual, blue eyes? He was in prison and everybody was going crazy over him.
Yeah.
Same thing here.
Yeah.
Same thing here. Now, but it's just weird that we deify stuff like that. But this is a situation where this guy, from everything I understand, had someone in his family have something denied, right?
So that's the narrative. I'm so many weird narratives with this, and I'm reading like right here where it said a smart criminal wouldn't have kept the gun unless he felt he could use it for additional usage.
Yeah.
In this manifesto, this dude was like, I think if I remember correctly, a valedictorian.
Yeah.
Top of his class, Ivy League. Yeah, like, well, this dude's been going.
Ivy League graduate.
He's been one. He didn't even look like the guy they initially had as a person of interest. The pictures were not the same.
The brows don't match.
The brows, the stature, the hoodie, all that stuff. You could change your clothes, whatever. But why the fuck would you keep, if you're a valedictorian, why would you keep all that shit on you?
Yeah.
It's not adding up to me. There's something weird about this. And I guess there was somebody was saying, and I'm not saying this is true, but there's like in the rumor mill saying that like his family has some connection to Nancy Pelosi. I am not saying this is true. This is something I like, everybody's spitballing. This is still
speculation,
relatively new. Yeah. A year from now, we will know whether or not, but the official story doesn't add up to me.
Yeah.
But at the same token, we'll have to, let's transition over to that meme I sent you over there.
All right. So we're going to pull this up.
Hey, who the fuck is that ugly guy?
Hey, my screen just flashed. Hold on one second, guys.
Oh,
and
no.
where's messages on here? Right there. So guys, we're right here. Oh, maybe inbox.
Where
and
am
me.
I at?
Right
there
here.
We are.
There we go. So this was a meme King just shared with me, and it's kind of hard to disagree regardless of who this was. Kind of hard to disagree. Not justifying murder.
No, not at all. But
on either end.
At what point do you draw a line? Now, this guy is a CEO raking tremendous amounts of profits, and they do it because they know people need the money.
Yep.
And also the pharmaceutical industrial complex, if you will, in Western civilization, at least in the United States, is more of a customer cured, or a patient cured is a customer lost. And I believe I've said that on this before. But yeah, like your policies and your price gouging, it shoehorns people into a corner.
I can tell you that, so I suffer from migraines, and there's a bunch of new stuff that my doctor wanted to try. My insurance has turned it down because they said that the cost overrides whatever benefit. I don't know how they can make that decision.
Right.
I get the fact that as an insurance company, you have a doctor on your board, but you are not a medical profession. We did have this discussion because I even talked about how a doctor did his own little skit before where he was talking to himself, pretending to be an insurance company and himself. And he goes, so aren't you guys just practicing medicine? Well, no, we're not doing it. We're just making determinations of what that person needs. Right. So you're practicing medicine.
The conflict between the two,
Yep.
insurance company and the doctor.
Right.
Because we'll allow this, but the doctor said you're prescribed this. But then, and it's also rather interesting that we are the most overly prescribed nation on the planet.
And then overly charged for the same medicines.
So it's a big fucking...
Yep. Everybody has a
man.
mental illness today. There's something staggering like 26% of people being on antidepressants, somewhere in the 20s for anti-anxiety. And I'm like,
So
I'm not saying those things aren't real.
Right.
However, we are definitely just going down.
I think a lot of these other medications also have those as their side effects. If you see any commercials, like, side effects could be... Dude,
It's longer than the commercial.
I will deal with the fucking ailment. I'm good. But back to this meme here. At what point in time, and let's say the narrative is what they say it is, and more often than not, it is not. Especially if mainstream media is spinning it. They're spin doctors is what they do.
Yep.
At what point, when somebody goes out, and I'm not justifying anything that may have happened in the narrative, does somebody not get fed up and hold the people that are fucking,
Responsible, accountable
suppressing
to it.
them? Responsible. I'm not even just saying in a medical field. Like if somebody is policy making or legislating you into a fucking corner or taxing you into a corner, like into poverty. I've always said policy creates poverty, and that's 100% true. And then when people go to get pissed off about it and then act out, it's almost like a form of gaslighting. Like you sat here and did this and said this and did this and said this, and then when you go to hold them accountable, like you're the bad guy.
Oh yeah. It's just like in every other thing. Look at how they reacted. That's the problem.
Right,
not
right.
the
See,
initial
what are you
piece.
doing? You don't know how to act.
Yep.
Motherfucker, are you serious right now? But again, I have my reservations about the whole story, and I guess we'll see as time tells, or as time goes on. But no, like when people get fed up with shit, and you sit there and you poke and you poke and you poke and you poke, and then you get bit.
Yep. Isn't the saying "Don't poke the bear"?
Like don't fucking corner a caged animal.
Yeah, everything's got a line. Everything's got a breaking point.
Yeah.
So the next thing we wanted to cover, this one's a little bit more lighthearted and more fun. So over on the X world, former Twitter,
Trollin.
we're talking about that slow type of fishing, trolling, not But over here we got King's
This
X
guy got
account.
damn near 75 followers. He is not the most popular guy on X.
Just started it though. To be fair,
I rarely ever do X. I'll go on there just to see some stuff.
Yep.
There's some certain people I follow, but like some of it. Oh, hit the follow on Tellurian Community College. They're awesome.
Right here?
Or he's awesome. The professor's awesome.
This one?
Yeah, definitely.
Got it.
Okay. Following you, professor.
got it live.
But no, I was on earlier today, and I just wanted to talk some shit to some people. So the first one there is Defiant L, and what he does, he's Twitter's accountability guy. Like the people will double talk, and he will catch it in a tweet, and it'll they will say one thing, and then it will contradict their whole stance in the next tweet, and he'll like screenshot them next to each other.
Yep.
But he posts a video here, which is or not a video, but a picture. Go ahead, click on that. Are your tax cuts more important than queer youth? And my response to that was, well, is it under there? There we go. Taxation is theft, even when it's done to gay folks.
Yep.
Like that dude wasted all that fucking marker on that sign.
He spent
That's
some time,
fine.
too.
You're gay, you're queer, whatever. I think it's redundant when you say queer, like because that's queer to me is gay, unless we've reinvented that word as well.
Yeah.
And but you're getting, pardon the pun, bent over by taxation as well as the straight people, the black people.
Same. They don't care
The
what.
women, the feminists.
All money green.
Any culture, any demographic, you want to, like, everybody's getting, taxed. So think about that for a second.
Yep.
Then we got the Soska sisters who, they're awesome. They're working with Eric July on some of his projects, and I appreciate the artwork there. So
She
then
put the
this chick right
toxic in Botox.
oh man, this girl got DSLs, and I'm not talking about internet.
Yeah. We're going to actually pull this one up so you can hear it.
Oh, cringe.
Reunion boo.
All right. So here it goes.
For any woman not voting for Harris, I'm having a baby by your man, putting him on child support as soon as the baby's born, dropping him off every weekend, and showing up to the family reunions. Now, with that being said, what color t-shirt we wearing this year to the reunion, boo?
All right. First and
For
foremost,
anyone
I've got to
not
say it
voting for
looks like
Harris,
PennDOT did
I'm
her
having a
eyebrows. Secondly,
Yep.
those lips, bro. Like, the botulism and the toxic. That's what it is. That's what Botox is.
Flowing right out of there.
Holy cow, dude. She could fit like a whole pack of Smith's hot dogs in that face. At once, with some gluck in the background.
Oh, man.
But no, she put the tox and Botox for sure. How are you going to have that many kids by that many people?
But what color shirt we wearing to the family reunion, boo?
Like, she's clearly not in the MB movement.
No.
Is it MB? Because she's saying she's going to sleep with all the fucking the Trump supporter
Yep.
daddies.
Yep.
So she's about to do them Republicans a solid with her DSL internet capabilities.
Putting them all on child support.
At once. She's going to get impregnated by like 80,000 people at once, and they're all on child support.
Oh, she's gonna have a litter.
You're all the baby daddy.
All right, so
Right, The View.
this is actually what we referenced earlier because we already had
There's Jay-Z again.
Jay-Z's hair on here, and they've got that matching now.
Jay-Z is back.
But
On the View.
for round 2. So this is the View, but this is Whoopi giving RFK Jr. A hard time for shaming people. So we're gonna show you her reaction. I'm gonna pull it up. Pause the sound. We love feelings.
Oh, great.
This isn't just about food.
No, it's not.
This is sometimes people
Genetics.
are born genetically larger.
Agreed. I didn't mean to
No,
cut
no,
that
I know
out.
you didn't.
Yeah.
But I want to say this to
RFK?
That's his name. Because you're setting folks up for shame.
Yeah.
That's what you're trying. Maybe you don't know you're doing. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to say you don't know, you don't realize what you do to people when you say stuff like that, because it doesn't work for everybody. And I'm going to show you, sir, because I weighed close to 300 less than 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And without the Mounjaro, this would not have happened.
There you go. Take it off. Take it off.
Did you wear anything baggier to compliment what the fuck you just said?
There you go. And I try to tell everybody, listen, this worked for me. This may work for y'all. You cannot take it out of people's hands if it can help. Because if we can keep people healthy, if we can get rid of diabetes, if we can get rid of all of the things cardiovascular, what's wrong with trying to do that?
Nothing.
You're wrong on this, R.
Also, the side effects are not horrible. But what does Kimberly Guilfoyle think of it? That's what I want to know.
You mean she's going to agree she got a body now.
Yeah. Where does Elon Musk come and RFK Jr., two medical experts? Who are they?
Elon's right on this.
Elon's right on this.
Yeah.
Also, maybe the brainworm will shrink. Never mind.
You're out of control.
I can't.
But for what she just said, you're also not a medical professional
At all.
But RFK has actually done studies on certain things and dyes and stuff in food. Go down again. I think we got another gold one.
This isn't just about.
Not her. I called out this Q&A. Like, no Q&A on certain vacations with Bill Clinton. We ain't got to watch that video. But and then there's another one. Where Mark's safe from 4B bitches. There was more. There was. I did another one. I quoted something. No, that's old. There. It is something on a Joe Biden post.
Maybe he got removed.
And not showing. Maybe Joe Biden blocked me. I feel important now.
Didn't like it. He didn't like it.
But
Just a little bit of fun when we're looking into just randomness going.
no, she's what Whoopi's saying though is RFK, although I'm sure he's got a past, everybody does. But she's just making fat shaming a thing. And if you look at the health of our people 40 years ago, 30 years ago, and it's been on a steady decline. You sure you had some fat people around, but nowadays, holy fucking shit. Like look at your food, look what you put in your body, look at the lack of motivation, again, tying back into pharmaceuticals. They don't want those problems solved. And RFK is at least coming off like he wants to solve them, whereas she's mad because like fat camp.
Yeah, he's mad because he said that obesity is a problem in our country.
Yeah. Like, and if you're offended, if you don't like the fucking adjective, how about don't be the fucking adjective?
Yeah.
And if you lost all that weight, and maybe she did, that's fine. But why are you wearing like straight drapes, bro? Like, you're not doing anything to show off this figure. Like, you still look like, oh, you're not 300 anymore. You look like you're 299. Good job, Jay-Z.
Got that Viking cut though.
All right,
baby. All right. So next one, we were actually just chatting, and
UFO.
we were talking about recently the drones that have been spotted over New Jersey, and the speculation of what those were. And then I told King I just heard about this morning. So this is another similar sighting or similar happening of UAPs or things that they don't know what they quite were, or UFOs.
Why do they call them UAPs anymore?
Unidentified aerial phenomenon, because they don't want to call it a vehicle, essentially. Unidentified flying object really was the idea of everybody thinks UFOs, and UAPs are trying to say this could be a gas flare. It could be anything because it's an aerial phenomenon.
So it's damage control for UFOs.
Correct. It's just another way of almost making anybody that calls that out seem like, it's just more.
Why are we making things more complex? It's a fucking UFO.
Yeah.
I know it's
still
unidentified.
And it's flying, and it happens to be an object.
Whoa.
Look at that.
Skills. Holy shit.
But this is of a fighter jet that was actually communicating with a air traffic control about what they were seeing currently out in Oregon. I'm going to play this now for you, so I'm going to switch back over.
And while lately we've been talking a lot about drones and UAPs and mysteries in the sky in New Jersey, let's take a trip back in time to 1947. And no, we're not talking about Roswell 1947, but 1 month before, when a pilot named Kenneth Arnold took off from Washington on his way to an air show. And as he flew over Mount Rainier, Arnold says he saw 9 bright, shiny, saucer-like objects flying in formation across the sky, some weaving side to side like a kite. Well, guess what just happened in the Pacific Northwest? Some 80 years later, some pilots just saw something very similar. And this time, there is audio of their conversation with an air traffic control tower. Take a listen.
We're seeing 3 or 4 targets. You know, they're all altitudes, up and down. It's pretty crazy.
We're not seeing anything. Getting lots of different reports out there. Some at 30, some all the way up to 50,000. About 3 or 4 different lights. Does it look like they're around your altitude now?
No, there's one way up high and one about my altitude, moving in like a circle, like a corkscrew pattern. Just had another one show up about my 1 o'clock, about 1,000 feet high, zipping towards us and then back out towards the ocean. It's red in color, moving at extreme speed.
Roger. You are cleared to maneuver as necessary, left and right, to avoid the UFO out there.
Avoid the UFO out there? That's coming from the air traffic controller.
So, where are you at on UFOs, man?
So, I am, I believe in other life forms from other planets. Too big to not. Now, whether or not they're here, I don't know. I'm kind of thrown up with that, because when you start thinking about physics, but then when does physics actually collapse in space? I don't know. If it's advancement, if it's other people, or what have you. But there's so many different things where it just seems to be mass sightings and all this other stuff, and too coincidental to be something we've made. So I think they're real, but I don't think that 90% of what people put out there is valid.
There's so many ways to go with this, because like, I'm not a flat earther. I'm not a round earther. I'm somebody that will listen to both sides. I will go, okay, because the flat earthers have a lot of good points, like the Antarctica Treaty. Yeah. Why, like, all these governments can't get along forever, but they don't fuck with Antarctica. Why? Ice wall. Are we in like a Hunger Games type scenario where, like, beyond the ice wall there's more land, there's more, like, that's where everything that our creators are, or whatever.
Right.
There's definitely other life forms out there. There's without a doubt. So
the problem would be getting here. That's the part that I've always been torn on.
Or they've already been here and they're trucking around. So like they're making themselves a little bit more visible or whatever. Or it's us.
Time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, you know.
A lot of the new reports that I've been reading recently have been dealing with coming from the ocean.
Yeah.
That's where there's been so many sightings recently where things will go in or leave the
pyramids
ocean.
coming out of water in Louisiana. You can look that up. I saw that video. Also, if you look at like jellyfish, they're probably one of the, if not the smartest creatures on the planet. That
don't technically have a brain.
Right. Maybe they're aliens. Maybe they're derivatives of aliens.
Well, that's what they've even said about octopuses, is that they're...
Octopuses, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah,
octopus, not jellyfish,
do
sorry.
not fit. Their genetics do not fit do not fit the Earth when they actually look into DNA of these things.
Yeah.
They just don't.
Yeah.
And the fact of how they operate...
Yeah.
Wild. Yeah, they're super intelligent.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I did not mean jellyfishes, but...
Although jellyfish are ridiculous too, though.
Yeah.
Nothing to it, not a floating brain core. I mean, there's stuff to it, but it just does not operate the same as most life.
Yeah, they're fascinating. Fascinating. But I believe, there's been UFOs, but the fact that the media is actually covering it now is just kind of like...
Seems strange.
What are they building?
Always a no.
Yeah, like, no, this is like control of information. Then you couldn't talk about it. Yep. You were weird if you did. Now they're hyper emphasizing it in some cases, almost like they're building up for something.
Especially when you watch all the people like former CIA director, former FBI director, former lieutenants of the Air Force talking about it.
It's almost like they're gearing up for something, because like that's like you hear about it for a little bit, then boom, there it is, confirmed.
Well, they took it in front of Congress last year,
Yeah.
Where they were lobbying that they needed to have this other information released, including all these. I watched the whole lobby, and it was pretty good how they were just laying out all this different evidence and just saying why is possibly the biggest event in history just being continually brushed
well,
out.
Now they'll run it because there's so many other nefarious things going on they don't want coverage of, like your Jay-Z's.
It's also because religion has collapsed. As a large whole. Yes, worldwide there's still religion, but think about it when you were a kid. Like, I got raised to be a Baptist, and I it was definitely used hell as, oh my God, this is the punishment. I got to get away from that. And that doesn't really exist anymore with kids today. They're not raised with religion. Whether you believe it or not, they were good morality stories.
Right.
And it seems like we've gotten so far away from that. And that used to be the big claim, is that if this is revealed, religion will collapse.
Right.
That's why they're saying the Vatican was involved and all this other stuff because they were
I think most religions are proxy, like, because there are a lot of them are geological locations, and that's where you believed in those locations, and a lot of them were books of parables. In other words, to kind of keep their people in line, like, you do this or you do this, or this will happen. And if you ever played Baldur's Gate 3, and which is a phenomenal game, I'm still playing it. A lot of these people worship their own separate gods, and like there's no give back to some of them. They're like, they actually do exist in the lore, and there's confrontations with them, but it's like all these people sacrifice all these things in the name of the worship of something else. Whereas me being an atheist, like, it's a possibility, agnostic atheist, it's a possibility these things exist, but like to sit here and just like throw your life away or condemn somebody else because they believe something different, it just doesn't vibe with me. So, but yeah, I could see how UFOs would challenge that, or maybe like your gods.
Especially if you were, because most of our technological advancement came from 1940 to now. But before that timeline, it was very much a religious world.
Yeah.
And I can definitely see it because when the Bible is written, the earth was the center of
Did you ever see pictures of? You ever seen pictures of Buffalo in the 1800s? How marvelous it was. Yeah. How like crazily. That's not even a word, but how fascinating the structure of their buildings and stuff were.
I'm from Buffalo too, guys.
Yeah, like there's stuff nowadays that would be hard to duplicate how well those buildings were, put together. There's pictures out there, like if you look on like Reddit or some of the other but yeah, they'll be on Facebook sometimes too. They're like Buffalo in 18 whatever, and have these great, fascinating, beautiful buildings, almost like Rome.
Right.
And then now, So like this technology has been around, whether it be time travel or aliens have never even left the place, and this is their little ant farm or whatever. Who knows?
One thing is certain: we're not the center of the universe.
No. Maybe we're a Matrix, bro.
Hey,
Who knows?
It's all in the simulation.
All right.
All in the simulation. So the next one we're going to want to bring up is going to be Magic the Gathering. So let me pull this up, and I'll put it on the screen for you guys.
Oh, Wizards of the Coast. You guys are fucking the worst people on the planet with the best game.
So this ends up being a article from Polygon, which they're covering how Wizards of the Coast or Hasbro are changing the name of Kaladesh to Avishkar. So preparing for a new Ether line or Ether Drift line of a set they're going to be bringing out. This breaks down why they changed the name, and I was trying to figure it out until you start reading the second paragraph right here, which I'm still trying to figure it out. But so the creative team had initially chose the name Kaladesh as a combination of a Hindi word Kala, which means tomorrow, or art, and Desh meaning home or country. So that's where I stopped reading this initially when King and I were chatting, and I said, so is it inherently racist to use a different language? But then I kept reading, and it said, in years since the set's debut, says that Kala, if that's how it's pronounced, can also mean black with a different pronunciation, a usage that has a racist and colorist implication when applied to an individual. What's colorist?
Colorists, to my knowledge, were people that like inked fucking comic books or artwork for other artists.
Yeah.
But are you familiar with the mechanic Reach?
Yeah. Yep.
This is a fucking Reach.
Yep.
Like, holy shit, dude. And are you familiar that there are colors in Magic, and one of them happens to be black?
Correct. That's what I'm saying here. It's so woke.
I hear. I cannot confirm nor deny, but Sweet Baby Inc., who's like had their hands in a lot of like DEI bullshit with video games. I believe there's a DEI. They might be affiliated with this, or it's a whole separate DEI thing. But like DEI is now integrating into Magic, and it has been like there's I play Magic all the time, dude, and now I'm almost to the point where like I don't want to buy your shit anymore. I'm just gonna buy the singles, and you've already made your money from other idiots, so maybe I'll just buy the singles that I need, and that way the cash is already spent, and I'm not financing the project. But like, why?
It seems like extreme tiptoeing for no reason. Like
Kaladesh. If I went out in the streets right now, and I'm from the hood, I grew up on the corner of 6th and Ash. So if I went out there and said Kaladesh, nobody would know what the fuck I was saying.
Hold on. So it meant, if we read it again, home or country. So it could just be misinterpreted as black home or black country. But once again, black is a color, not a race.
All right. And technically people that are black are actually brown. Like black was just a term. Like, that little...
There's too much feeling and too much tiptoeing. Yes, you shouldn't be using something to degrade somebody. But how did naming your set black country, what it actually meant, they just told you that's not what it meant. It just could be pronunciated wrong.
Right. That is the biggest stretch for DEI I've seen in quite some time. And they're always trying to like fucking, race bait and race hustle.
Yeah, that's what it almost seems like shaming.
I don't see the correlation at all.
It almost seems like shaming. We're going to change all this stuff, and if you are somebody that agrees with you're the bad guy.
Yeah, I don't see the correlation.
I don't either
At all.
I don't
this
either.
Is a reach.
It's not like Disney with Aladdin where there's actual stereotypes and stuff that are in it, and I still don't think. I don't know the culture enough to really think they were stereotypes, but they put that in the beginning of everything Disney that's old now.
Yeah.
But
disclaimer, your feelings might get hurt.
There's nothing inherently racist or whatever this new colorist term is about this.
Yeah. Well, that's how communism comes. It comes in and it goes, hey, you're being oppressed, and we can save you.
Be mad about this.
And that's how it's integrated into society. Like everybody's a victim. There's no victories.
Yep.
And that's like, yeah. And people
because it causes division.
Yeah. People don't fucking see it. And then, Well,
United we're a force, divided we are not.
right. So now this is stupid. I
don't think anybody thought this except for the people that are at Wizards.
Nobody would have fucking put that together.
I don't think there was anybody even from where this language would have originated in either India or in the Hindi language. Nobody was upset.
Is there any truth, I know a little bit off topic, that the Redskins are getting their name back? Because I've seen that.
I know that they were lobbying for it, not the team. The actual tribes that were out there were lobbying for it.
Yeah, but Wizards, if Elon, like, fucking, that'd be funny. Because, like,
curious.
Hasbro, the only successful product that Hasbro has going is Magic the Gathering through Wizards of the Coast.
So I don't have this up on screen. I have you and me, but I'm just looking real quick to see. And I'm just going to read this off to you guys. So this is Redskins name returning. Recent reports have sparked debate about the potential return of a Washington Redskin name. So this was probably, going on 6 years now or so, because they were football team first.
Right.
It's been at least 5 years since this originally happened, but however, it's essential to clarify the current situation. Washington Commanders owner Josh Harris has repeatedly stated he will not return the name. So the next piece is as committed to honoring Wetzel's legacy. I read about this before, where I actually read with certain tribes were actually in.
Oh, they were mad.
Yeah, they were
took away their
lobbying and writing.
representation.
And writing letters and stuff for it too. And not saying that the use of
Yeah, if you
terms
want
are right
representation,
one,
but you're erasing at the same time, can you imagine being that stupid?
Yeah.
Like, you took people off fucking butter, you took a lady off the syrup. You want representation.
Yeah, why?
Why are you erasing it? And then you're gonna go and shoehorn. You're gonna give them white man hand-me-downs, like, oh, this person in this comic book or this book or whatever. Now they're this color, or like, we're just identity politics.
Yep.
And yet, you're ruining the identities of things that already existed. I don't know. It's a book burning.
Yeah.
Modern day book burning, and it's done by a bunch of fucking retards.
It's where we are worried more about feeling over fact. We're worried about how this might affect somebody's psyche, and we're always thinking about 1% rather than normality. And it's an odd time to live, for sure.
It's weird.
It is.
For sure.
It is. Guys, that's going to wrap up what we had for today's subjects. We will be back again this next Friday with some more material for you guys to check out. If you did like what we were doing, make sure we do get that subscribe, that follow, those little bell notifications to let us know, or let you know when we
Hit
do
the
go
merch
live.
store.
And very important. So streamlabs.com/justthetip2024. Tons of different merchandise you can select from. And it just helps us continue this and get you guys more content and continue to improve what King has going on in this sweet studio.
All right.
Anything else for him?
No, man. Sorry for the couple of weeks off, but like, we've all had life happen and had life endings and stuff like that. So we were dealing with some stuff this past couple of weeks, and we do want to get back on track and give you guys some more content, though.
Heck yeah. All right, guys. Thank you for checking us out. Until next time, stay moist.
Deuces.